I was coaching a sales manager recently, and he said, Chris, the other day I walked into a sales meeting and I could just feel the tension and frustration start to rise in me. Because I walked in and first thing I saw is there's one guy scrolling on his phone, another guy leaning back with his arms crossed. He said there were a few of them that looked engaged, but I don't know, it probably just was just a bunch of fake buy-in. And I just said to myself, how can this still be happening? Haven't we gone over this before? How many of you guys can relate to this guy? And this is when it hits you. You don't rise to the level of your leadership intention, no matter how good those intentions are. You rise or fall to the level of your team's execution culture. This is the team war, and this is where most managers fail. And it's not because they don't care, it's because they've never built systems that scale clarity under pressure. Because remember, we've talked about this in the past. Good intentions do not produce good results. Good systems produce good results. I'm Chris Hunsicker, and this is the Dealership War Room. 7 minutes of leadership fire, built daily, fueled intentionally, and delivered relentlessly. So today, let's walk into the war. The team war is where your internal clarity meets external chaos, and something's going to win. Most managers, they lead with memory or mood or motivation, whereas elite operators, they lead with systems, standards, and connection. There are 3 tiles. We're going to go through each one of them, and I'm going to give you one tool for each of those tiles that's going to allow your team to fundamentally change how they respond under pressure. Battlefront number 1, ownership and operations. No drama, clarity after conflict. If it's fuzzy, it fails. This is one of my top 10 tools. I call it the Clarity Cascade, and it's really an abbreviation of cascading communication as taught by Patrick Lencioni in the 5 dysfunctions of a team. I just took his more complex model and made it very simple and easy to execute. Here it is. Use this in any meeting, huddle, or even conflict to reset the alignment. First, what's the outcome? Who owns it? By when? And how will we know when it's done right? Those elements create absolute clarity and allows you to cascade in a meeting. I would never leave a meeting. If you're going to spend precious time to have a meeting, I would never leave a meeting without these. What's the outcome we're trying to get? Who owns it? By when? And how are we going to know when it's going to be successful? When you cascade that kind of clarity, it changes absolutely everything. You can't scale trust without absolute clarity of responsibility. If you're vague, your team will stall. If you're clear, they'll move. And listen to this. This is really important. Drama fills the space where clarity is missing. I'm going to say that one more time. Write this one down. Drama fills the space where clarity is missing. Second battlefront is consistency and courage. Execution in all conditions. Because what you tolerate becomes your culture. So let me share with you a tool I call the 3R loop. This is a tool that you can use when someone misses the mark, they drop the standard, they just fall through. I want you to think now, how many times does it come up? You have a good person, good employee, a good member of your team, but they missed the mark, they dropped the standard. What do? You use the 3R tool. Now, whether you're in a one-on-one, in a group meeting, anywhere you're at, where someone drops the standard, these are the 3 R's of the 3R loop. First, you want to reset the expectation. Be clear, direct, and to the point. Then reaffirm the why. Why is this so important? Connect it, the standard, to the mission, to the team, to what we're trying to accomplish. And then re-coach the behavior. Because remember, everything comes down to behavior. And give them a very clear, easy next step so you can create an instant win. This loop creates a culture of courageous accountability without being a jerk. Because I know you've heard this before. Be soft on the person, but hard on the standard. That's what the 3 R's do. When you have the ability to continually come back to reset the standard, reaffirm the why, and then recoach the behavior, you can handle almost any situation. The third battlefront is impact and intentionality. Connection multiplies resilience. The more your people feel seen, the more they're going to step up when it really matters. My favorite tool for this tile is what I call the weekly 1x3. As a matter of fact, if all you do is this tool, you will fundamentally change the level of connection, execution, and resilience in your store. Once a week, ask each of your people individually these 3 questions. What's one thing that you're proud of? What's one thing that you're struggling with? And what's one thing that you need from me as your leader? And really, don't do this as a survey. This is a conversation. This is not about making them feel all warm and fuzzy. This is about unlocking the emotional ownership that turns average performers into invested teammates. So let's cross the execution bridge. And today, you got 3 options. You have 3 powerful tools. I want you to pick any one of those 3 tools. It could be the clarity cascade. It could be the 3R rule. It could be the 1x3 weekly conversation. And I want you to use it tomorrow by 10 a.m. Could be in a huddle, could be in a team meeting, could be in a one-on-one, could be in a corrective conversation. Because culture never shifts by accident. It shifts by rhythm and reps. Tomorrow, we hit the execution war. And this is where strategy collides with pressure. And if you want your strategy to land, your people need to be ready for it. And that starts by winning the team war daily. Because this isn't about getting people to like you. This is about getting people to execute better together. So please run my little experiment, take one of these tools, cross the execution bridge, and I will see you tomorrow in the dealership war room.